Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel, a place where curious minds can come to rest. Tonight, we'll be learning about a hidden language that flows through all living things, a world of invisible messengers that quietly shape our lives and the world around us. Hormones are always at work, guiding bodies through seasons, shaping behavior, and weaving together the inner rhythms of life on Earth. From the smallest cell to the most complex creature, these gentle signals decide when to rest, when to grow, when to transform, and when to let go. This is a journey into the chemistry of feeling and survival, into the quiet intelligence that allows living systems to adapt, remember, and endure. It is a story that stretches back to the earliest life in the oceans and forward into every heartbeat, every breath, every subtle shift you may never consciously notice. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, there's nothing you need to do but rest. Let your eyes grow heavy and allow the day to fade away. And join me in relaxation as we explore the hidden world of hormones. Let's begin. Adrenaline can sharpen perception so intensely that time appears to slow down. In a sudden moment of danger, the body does not have time to negotiate. It needs instant priority, instant clarity, instant motion. Adrenaline floods the bloodstream, and the nervous system begins to change its settings, like a camera switching to a faster shutter speed. Pupils widen to gather more light. Blood flow is redirected toward the muscles that might need to sprint or climb. The liver is nudged to release stored energy, so movement has fuel ready to burn. At the same time, attention tightens. The brain starts sampling the world more aggressively, taking in more detail per heartbeat. That can create the strange feeling that events are unfolding in slow motion, not because the outside world changes, but because your inner recording becomes denser and more vivid. Later, memory can replay that dense recording and make the interval feel longer than it truly was. Adrenaline is not just a rush, it is a rapid biological decision to spend energy on survival and to buy extra clarity when clarity matters most. Octopuses use hormones to instantly shift from curiosity to camouflage. An octopus is a master of sudden reinvention. One moment it is exploring a crevice like a careful scientist, the next it becomes a living patch of rock, sand, or seaweed. Under the skin, pigment cells called chromatophores expand and contract, while deeper layers reflect light in ways that create shimmer and depth. The dazzling part is how quickly this can happen, because it is not simply a local trick of skin. The whole animal shifts into a new state. Hormones help coordinate that shift, linking perception to action so the body changes as one. When threat signals rise, the internal chemistry can push the animal toward hiding behaviors, changing posture, muscle tone, and skin pattern together. When the environment feels safe, different chemical messages support exploration, learning, and problem solving. In other words, hormones help set the octopus into modes: curious and searching, or cautious and concealed. That is a kind of emotional biology without words, the chemical way of turning a complex creature into the exact version of itself that the moment demands. Hormones are ancient chemical messengers that existed long before brains evolved. Long before animals had nerves, eyes, or even muscles, life still needed coordination. Single cells had to decide when to divide, when to conserve energy, when to move toward food, and when to pull back from danger. Chemical messages solved that problem, because a molecule drifting through water can carry instructions without any wiring at all. Over deep time, these signals became more specialized. Some began as simple stress alarms, others as growth cues, others as coordination tools that helped early colonies of cells behave like a team instead of a crowd. That is one reason hormones feel so fundamental today. They are not a recent upgrade layered onto biology. They are part of its earliest operating system. Even now, many hormone systems resemble ancient survival logic. Detect a change, release a messenger, adjust the whole organism. The truly mind-bending part is that modern bodies still run on that same principle, using tiny chemical notes to synchronize trillions of cells into something that acts like one continuous, living decision. Cortisol helps the body survive danger, but reshapes memory at the same time. Cortisol is often described as a stress hormone, but its real job is more like emergency resource management. When the brain senses a challenge that might last, it signals a chain of glands that ends with cortisol entering the blood. That hormone helps keep energy available, stabilizes blood pressure, and changes how the immune system behaves. Because long-term survival requires careful budgeting. At the same time, cortisol reaches the brain, and this is where it becomes quietly eerie. Memory is not a simple recording. It is a living process that decides what to store and how strongly to store it. Cortisol can tilt that decision. In the short term, it can sharpen attention toward what is urgent. Over longer spans, it can interfere with the formation of certain kinds of new memories, especially the detailed context of when and where events occurred. It can also change how strongly emotion tags an experience, helping some moments burn in while others blur. Cortisol is not only helping the body endure stress, it is also editing the story the brain keeps about that stress. Ant colonies rely on hormone-like pheromones to function as a single organism. An ant colony can behave like a creature with many bodies. No single ant understands the whole plan. Yet the colony builds nests, gathers food, defends territory, and adjusts strategy when conditions change. One of the secrets is pheromones, chemical messages released into the environment that guide other ants like invisible signposts. A trail pheromone can turn the ground into a temporary map that points toward food. An alarm pheromone can instantly shift the mood of a crowded nest from calm to defense. Other pheromones help regulate roles, influencing whether workers focus on nursing young, building, or foraging. There are even colony-level signals that reflect the presence and fertility of the queen, helping keep the social structure stable. The awe-inspiring part is that these chemicals do not merely communicate information, they change behavior in coordinated waves, making thousands of individuals move as if they share a single nervous system. It is a kind of distributed endocrinology, chemistry in the air that turns a swarm into a unified response. Melatonin does far more than control sleep and quietly influences immunity and aging. Melatonin is famous for its link to darkness and drowsiness, but its reach extends into the deeper housekeeping of the body. It is released in a daily rhythm that helps cells anticipate night, not merely react to it. Many tissues use that rhythm as a timing cue, adjusting repair processes, metabolic patterns, and immune activity to match the changing day. Melatonin also acts like a protective signal at the cellular level, supporting defenses against certain kinds of molecular damage that accumulate during normal life. That matters because aging is not a single process. It is the sum of countless tiny changes in how cells maintain themselves. The nightly rise of melatonin is part of the body's reminder that restoration time is here. In many animals, melatonin also carries seasonal information. Longer nights mean a different message than shorter nights, and that can shift reproduction, molting, migration readiness, and appetite. So melatonin is not only a sleep signal, it is a calendar and a maintenance whisper, telling the body when to repair, when to conserve, and when the world outside has changed its season. Some hormones act only for seconds, yet leave effects that last a lifetime. There are moments in development when the body is unusually impressionable. During these sensitive windows, brief hormonal signals can shape how tissues build themselves, how circuits connect in the brain, and how the body sets its long-term expectations about the world. A short pulse can influence which cells become certain types, how many receptors they make, or how strongly they will respond to future signals. Later in life, the original pulse is long gone, but the architecture it helped create remains. This is one way early experiences can become biological, because stress, nutrition, and environment can alter hormone patterns at precisely the times when the body is writing its blueprint. Some of these changes are stored through lasting shifts in how genes are turned on and off, like bookmarks that do not change the letters, that change which pages are read most often. It is astonishing to realize that a fleeting chemical message can become part of a person's lifelong baseline, quietly influencing resilience, sensitivity, and metabolism decades later. Oxytocin can strengthen social bonds while also increasing distrust of outsiders. Oxytocin is often introduced as the bonding hormone, and it truly can support attachment, caregiving, and feelings of closeness. Yet its effects depend on context, history, and the social meaning of the situation. Oxytocin does not simply create warmth, it can heighten the importance of social cues. In a safe setting, that can deepen trust and connection, helping people feel more attuned to a friend's face or a loved one's voice. In an uncertain setting, the same heightened social focus can sharpen boundaries, making the brain more protective of the familiar and more cautious toward the unfamiliar. This is one reason oxytocin is not a simple love switch. It is more like a social amplifier. It can strengthen the sense of us, which sometimes makes the sense of them feel sharper too. The deeper wonder is that a molecule can influence not just individual feeling, but group psychology, shifting how minds read belonging, safety, and threat. Oxytocin shows that chemistry can shape the social world, not by dictating one emotion, but by turning up the volume on social meaning. Frog metamorphosis is orchestrated almost entirely by thyroid hormones. A tadpole is not a small frog. It is a different life strategy with a different body plan. It breathes through gills, swims with a tail, and feeds in a way that suits an aquatic world. Then, as metamorphosis begins, thyroid hormones rise, and the animal becomes a construction site. Limbs grow and strengthen. The gut remodels to match a new diet. The skull reshapes. The tail, once essential, becomes unnecessary and is carefully broken down so its materials can be reused. Even the way the animal breathes is reworked as lungs take over. What makes this so startling is the coordination. These are not independent upgrades. They are a synchronized transformation that must happen in the correct order at the correct pace without tearing the organism apart. Thyroid hormones act as the master timing signals, telling tissues when to grow, when to die back, and when to reorganize. Metamorphosis is a reminder that hormones can be architects, not only nudging behavior or mood, but rewriting an entire body from the inside, turning one creature into another while keeping the same living. Continuity. Hormones allow cells with identical genes to become completely different tissues. Every cell in your body carries essentially the same genetic library, yet a nerve cell behaves nothing like a muscle cell, and neither resembles a liver cell. The difference is not the letters of DNA, it is which parts of that library each cell chooses to read and which parts it keeps closed. Hormones help manage those choices by delivering instructions that alter gene activity, protein production, and the identity of the cell itself. Some hormones bind to receptors on the surface of a cell and trigger rapid signaling cascades, but change what the cell does within moments. Others slip inside and bind to receptors that interact directly with DNA, shifting which genes are activated and which stay silent. Over time, these signals help lock in specialization, guiding a cell toward a stable role in the body's larger story. That is why hormones can influence development, healing, and adaptation. They help decide whether a cell behaves like a builder, a messenger, a defender, or a storage vault. It is breathtaking that chemistry can turn identical genetic potential into a living mosaic of specialized tissues, all cooperating as one organism. Insulin does more than regulate blood sugar and acts as a master growth signal. Insulin is one of the body's clearest ways of announcing that the outside world has been generous. When nutrients arrive, this messenger tells cells that building is allowed. In response, many tissues shift from scarcity mode into investment mode, increasing the uptake of amino acids, encouraging the assembly of new proteins, and supporting the storage of energy in forms that can be used later. This is why insulin is deeply tied to growth and repair. It influences how muscle tissue responds after a meal, how fat tissue decides what to store, and how the liver coordinates the flow of fuels between organs. It also plays a quiet role in the brain, where it can influence appetite signals and the sense of satiety, linking the chemistry of nourishment to the feeling of being safely fed. Seen this way, insulin is not only a metabolic helper, it is a permission slip that allows the body to spend resources on maintenance, resilience, and long-term structure rather than immediate survival. Hormones help the brain decide what is safe to ignore and what must be remembered. Your brain cannot treat every sound, every face, and every passing detail as equally important, because doing so would bury you in data. Hormones help provide a filter by changing how strongly attention and learning systems respond to what is happening. In states of alertness, certain chemical signals increase the brain's willingness to treat a moment as meaningful, strengthening the formation of memories and improving the ability to spot patterns. In calmer states, the same systems become more selective, allowing routine experiences to fade, so that mental space stays open for what is new or relevant. This does not only affect what you remember, it changes what your mind even notices in the first place. A small shift in internal chemistry can make a room feel full of potential clues, or make it feel like harmless background. Over time, those moment-by-moment choices shape identity, because memory becomes the raw material of expectation. Hormones quietly influence which experiences become lessons and which dissolve like mist. Migrating birds rely on seasonal hormone shifts to navigate across continents. Long before a bird lifts off for a journey, its body begins preparing with the patience of a carefully timed ritual. Hormonal changes can increase appetite so intensely that a bird eats far beyond ordinary need, building energy reserves that will be burned in long stretches of flight. Muscles adjust to favor endurance, and the heart and lungs tune themselves to sustain steady output. At the same time, hormones influence behavior, creating a restless drive to move when the season is right, even if the sky looks unchanged to us. Navigation is also supported, because these internal signals help prime the brain to pay attention to cues like the position of the sun, the pattern of stars, and the faint information carried by Earth's magnetic field. The astonishing part is that many young birds begin these journeys without being taught the route. Hormones help unlock a biological readiness that turns the world into a map, allowing instinct, timing, and physiology to join into a single moving purpose. Estrogen influences brain wiring in ways that continue throughout adulthood. Estrogen is often framed as a reproductive hormone, yet its influence in the brain is broad, subtle, and ongoing. In many regions, it affects how easily neurons form new connections and how strongly those connections communicate. This means it can shape learning, attention, and emotional balance, not as a one-time developmental event, but as a continuing modulation that changes with life stages and internal cycles. Estrogen also interacts with systems that manage stress responsiveness, influencing how the brain recovers after challenge and how quickly it returns to baseline. In some contexts, it supports neural flexibility, the ability to shift strategies, update beliefs, and absorb new skills. In others, it affects sensitivity to social and sensory cues, changing what feels vivid or urgent. The mind-bending idea here is not that estrogen controls thought, but that it can tune the brain's readiness to adapt. It is like adjusting the softness of clay, making the same experience leave a deeper imprint at one time and a lighter imprint at another. Some hormones communicate by rhythm rather than by strength. The body has a time-based language that can carry meaning even when the amount of a hormone stays modest. Many endocrine signals are released in repeating patterns, and cells listen for those patterns the way a musician listens for a beat. A brief pulse can trigger a cascade that a steady signal would fail to start, because receptors can become less responsive when exposure is continuous. With rhythmic release, the message stays crisp, and the target tissue can reset between bursts. This allows the same hormone to act like different messages depending on tempo, not just quantity. Certain reproductive signals, for example, depend on the timing of pulses to determine whether the body moves toward fertility or toward suppression. Daily cycles can align metabolism, temperature regulation, and alertness with predictable phases of activity and rest. The wonder is that hormones do not only carry instructions, they carry schedules. They coordinate organs by sharing timing information, turning the whole body into a synchronized system that runs on chemical clocks. Bees use juvenile hormone to determine whether a larva becomes a worker or a queen. Inside a hive, destiny is not written only in genes. It is shaped by chemical decisions made during development. Juvenile hormone helps determine whether a young bee follows the path toward worker roles or toward the extraordinary life of a queen. This messenger interacts with nutrition and timing, influencing growth rate, body size, reproductive anatomy, and even how the future adult brain is organized for social tasks. A queen is not simply larger. She is built for longevity and egg-laying, supported by a physiology designed to sustain the colony's future. Workers, by contrast, become specialists of labor, with bodies and behaviors tuned for nursing, building, guarding, and foraging. The fascinating part is that this is a biological response to social need. The colony can shift development toward the kind of individual it requires. Juvenile hormone is part of the mechanism that turns a community into a responsive system, where chemistry helps transform identical potential into radically different lives, all in service of the same shared cherogens. Survival. Testosterone shapes motivation and risk-taking far beyond muscle growth. Testosterone influences how the brain evaluates challenge, effort, and reward, which is why it can affect behavior in ways that have little to do with physical strength. Rather than acting as a simple aggression switch, it often increases sensitivity to status, competition, and opportunity. In some settings, this can push an individual toward persistence and bold pursuit of goals. In others, it can heighten the drive to protect reputation or to seek recognition. Testosterone also interacts with attention and decision-making, influencing how strongly a potential payoff stands out compared with potential cost. That can tilt the balance toward taking risks, not because risk becomes invisible, but because the possible gain feels more compelling. Importantly, context matters. Social environment, personal history, and the meaning of a situation can shape how this hormone's effects appear. The awe-inspiring takeaway is that a molecule can bias the inner weighting system that guides choice, subtly changing what feels worth doing, what feels threatening, and what feels possible. Hormones allow the immune system to distinguish danger from harmless noise. Your immune system is surrounded by signals that could be misread. Food particles, friendly microbes, dust, and your own healthy cells could all create molecular clues that resemble threat if interpreted without restraint. Hormones help provide that restraint by linking immune behavior to the body's overall state. During injury or infection, certain hormonal patterns encourage immune cells to mobilize, communicate, and multiply. During recovery, other signals help calm inflammation, preventing defense from becoming self-damage. Hormones also connect immunity with seasons, sleep, and energy availability, because fighting too hard when resources are low can be dangerous in its own right. This chemical guidance helps immune cells choose the right intensity, not just whether to respond. The mind-bending part is that immunity is not only a battle system, it is a decision system, constantly weighing context. Hormones supply that context. They help the body defend without panicking, remembering that not every unfamiliar molecule is an enemy and not every alarm should become a fire. Deep-sea fish use hormonal timing to reproduce in total darkness. In the deep ocean, the usual calendar cues are missing. There is no sunrise, no clear season, and often no stable food supply. Yet many deep-sea fish still manage to reproduce with remarkable timing. Hormones help solve this by acting as internal coordinators that integrate faint environmental information, like subtle temperature shifts, changes in pressure, or the arrival of seasonal nutrients sinking gene from above. These signals can trigger the gradual development of eggs and sperm, ensuring that reproductive effort is not wasted when conditions cannot support young. In some species, timing also supports the rare chance of meeting a mate, because individuals may be widely spaced in the dark. Hormonal readiness can concentrate reproductive activity into narrow windows, improving the odds that encounters lead to successful spawning. The wonder is that in a habitat where vision fails and landmarks vanish, chemistry becomes a guide for life history. Hormones provide a private schedule that allows reproduction to remain coordinated even when the environment offers almost no obvious clock. Dopamine does not create pleasure itself, but teaches the brain what to seek again. Dopamine is best understood as a learning signal, one that highlights what is worth repeating. When something turns out better or more important than expected, dopamine activity can rise and stamp the moment with significance. This helps the brain update its predictions, making certain actions, places, or cues feel more attention-grabbing in the future. That is why dopamine is strongly tied to anticipation. The brain begins to respond to the hint of a reward, not just the reward itself, because dopamine is training it to prepare. This system is powerful because it turns experience into strategy. It helps an animal remember where food was found, which sounds predicted safety, or which social interactions led to support. It also explains how habits can form, because repeated dopamine tagging can make routines feel automatic and compelling. The awe-inspiring idea is that a molecule can act like a teacher, continually reshaping motivation through prediction, surprise, and memory, guiding behavior toward what the brain has learned to value. Hormones helped early life coordinate behavior before nerves ever existed. Long before organisms could think, feel, or react quickly, they still needed a way to act together. Early multicellular life faced a fundamental challenge. How could groups of cells cooperate rather than behave independently? Hormones offered an elegant solution. Chemical signals released into shared internal fluids allowed distant cells to receive the same message at roughly the same time. This enabled early organisms to contract together, grow in balanced proportions, or shift metabolism in response to environmental change. Unlike electrical signals, chemical messengers did not require specialized structures. They simply diffused, carrying information through space. This slow but reliable system laid the groundwork for coordination itself. Even after nervous systems evolved, hormonal signaling remained essential because it could influence many tissues at once and sustain changes over long periods. The persistence of hormonal communication in modern life is a living fossil of biology's earliest experiments in cooperation. It reminds us that intelligence in living systems did not begin with thought, but with chemistry learning how to unify many parts into one responding whole. Prolactin influences parenting behaviors in mammals and birds alike. Parenting is not just a set of actions, it is a sustained motivational state, and prolactin helps create it. In mammals, prolactin supports caregiving behaviors that go far beyond feeding. It increases attentiveness to offspring cues, reduces responsiveness to competing distractions, and supports persistence during demanding periods of care. In birds, prolactin plays a similarly powerful role, influencing nest building, egg incubation, and the repeated feeding of young that requires patience and endurance. What makes prolactin remarkable is that it can affect caregivers of different sexes depending on species, showing that its role is behavioral rather than strictly reproductive. It reshapes priorities in the brain, making the needs of the young feel urgent and emotionally significant. This hormonal influence helps transform vulnerability into attachment, ensuring that care continues even when it is costly or exhausting. Prolactin reveals how hormones can support complex social roles by altering motivation, focus, and emotional weighting over extended periods of time. Some hormones only become active after being chemically altered inside target cells. Not every hormone arrives as a finished message. Some circulate through the body in a quieter, inactive form, carrying potential rather than instruction. Only after entering specific target cells do enzymes modify these molecules, transforming them into active signals. This extra step gives tissues remarkable control. Two cells exposed to the same hormone concentration can respond very differently, depending on whether they possess the machinery needed to activate it. This allows for precision that blood levels alone could never achieve. It also protects the body from excessive stimulation, because activation can be limited to the places where the signal is truly needed. This strategy turns hormone action into a partnership rather than a command. The gland releases a message, but the cell decides whether and how loudly to listen. This layered communication helps explain how hormones can influence development, stress response, and metabolism without overwhelming the system. It is a reminder that biological signaling is not simply broadcast and obeyed, but negotiated at the cellular level. Seasonal affective changes are driven by light-sensitive hormone pathways. Light is one of the most powerful environmental signals the body knows how to read. As daylight lengthens or shortens across the year, hormone systems respond by adjusting sleep timing, energy levels, and emotional tone. These changes evolve to help organisms align behavior with seasonal conditions such as food availability and temperature. When light exposure decreases, hormone patterns can shift toward conservation, lowering alertness and encouraging rest. When light increases, different signals promote activity, exploration, and social engagement. This is not a malfunction. It is an ancient adaptation. Modern life, with artificial lighting and fixed schedules, can blur these cues, sometimes causing seasonal hormone signals to conflict with daily demands. Yet the underlying pathways remain sensitive, quietly translating light into chemistry. Seasonal affective changes show how deeply human biology remains connected to the planet's rhythms, with hormones acting as intermediaries between the sky above and the inner emotional landscape. Crustaceans mold their entire bodies under precise hormonal control. For a crustacean, growth requires destruction, followed by renewal. Its hard outer shell cannot expand, so the animal must periodically shed it entirely. Hormones orchestrate this dangerous process with astonishing precision. Before molting begins, chemical signals trigger the formation of a new exoskeleton beneath the old one. At the same time, muscles detach in a controlled way, and water uptake increases internal pressure. When the moment arrives, the old shell splits and the animal pulls free, soft and defenseless. In the hours or days that follow, hormones guide rapid hardening of the new shell, restoring protection before predators can strike. Timing is critical. Molting too early or too late can be fatal. Hormonal coordination ensures that growth, vulnerability, and recovery occur in the correct sequence. This repeated transformation across a lifetime shows how hormones can manage radical physical change, not as a one-time event, but as a recurring survival strategy. Growth hormone sculpts tissues differently depending on age and environment. Growth hormone does not deliver a single message that means the same thing forever. Its effects change with age, context, and available resources. In early life, it supports overall expansion, influencing bone length, organ development, and body proportions. As maturity approaches, its role shifts toward refinement and maintenance, supporting tissue repair, muscle integrity, and metabolic balance. Environmental conditions matter deeply. Adequate nutrition, sleep quality, and physical activity all influence how tissues respond to growth hormone signals. This flexibility allows the body to adapt its investment strategy, growing rapidly when conditions are favorable and conserving energy when they are not. Growth hormone also works indirectly by stimulating other signaling molecules that shape local responses within tissues. Rather than forcing uniform growth, it helps sculpt structure over time. The deeper insight is that growth never truly ends. Hormonal guidance continues reshaping the body throughout life, adjusting strength, resilience, and repair in response to changing circumstances. Hormones can amplify tiny environmental signals into whole body responses. The environment often whispers before it shouts. A slight drop in temperature, a faint chemical cue, or a subtle change in daylight can all carry important information. Hormones allow the body to take these small signals seriously. When triggered, they spread through the bloodstream and reach many organs at once, coordinating a unified response. This amplification helps organisms prepare rather than react. Metabolism can shift before resources become scarce. Vigilance can increase before danger is obvious. Hormones excel at this because they persist long enough to sustain change, keeping systems aligned over time. Instead of forcing immediate action, they adjust internal settings, changing readiness, sensitivity, and priority. This strategy improves survival by turning early hints into meaningful preparation. The awe-inspiring aspect is that life does not wait for certainty. Through hormones, it listens closely to faint clues and reorganizes itself in advance, guided by chemistry rather than conscious thought. Fish exposed to changing water chemistry rapidly adjust hormone production to survive. Water chemistry defines life for fish. Changes in temperature, oxygen levels, or salinity can threaten cellular balance within minutes. Hormone systems allow fish to respond quickly and flexibly to these challenges. When conditions shift, hormones adjust how gills handle ions, how kidneys regulate water balance, and how metabolism distributes energy. These changes help maintain stable internal conditions even when the surrounding water becomes hostile. In species that move between fresh and salt water, hormonal control enables dramatic physiological transformation, allowing cells to function across environments that differ profoundly in chemistry. This adaptability is not passive tolerance, it is active negotiation with the environment. Hormones translate external conditions into internal adjustments, keeping tissues functioning within safe limits. Fish survival in variable waters highlights how endocrine systems serve as translators, turning environmental chemistry into biological stability through rapid, coordinated change. Serotonin affects digestion just as strongly as mood. Although serotonin is widely known for its role in emotional balance, most of it operates outside the brain, particularly in the digestive system. In the gut, serotonin helps regulate movement, secretion, and sensitivity. It influences how quickly food passes through, how strongly the gut responds to stretch, and how digestive signals communicate with the nervous system. This makes digestion responsive rather than mechanical. Emotional states can influence gut serotonin activity, while changes in digestion can affect mood, creating a two-way conversation between brain and body. This connection helps explain why stress can alter appetite or cause discomfort, and why digestive health can influence emotional well-being. Serotonin acts as a bridge between feeling and physiology, reminding us that the gut is not just a processing tube, but a responsive sensory organ. Through serotonin, digestion becomes an experience shaped by context, emotion, and internal chemistry. Hormones create biological clocks that operate even without sunlight. Many organisms maintain regular rhythms even in environments where external time cues disappear. Hormones play a central role in generating these internal clocks. By cycling in predictable patterns, they regulate sleep, metabolism, body temperature, and the release of other hormones. These rhythms allow the body to anticipate needs rather than react to them, preparing for rest or activity before either begins. When environmental cues such as light return, these clocks can reset, staying aligned with the outside world. Without hormonal timing, biological processes would drift out of sequence, disrupting coordination across systems. The remarkable part is that time itself becomes a biological property. Hormones do not simply respond to time, they create it within the body. They allow life to remain ordered, rhythmic, and predictive, even in constant darkness or unchanging conditions. Many hormones act as feedback loops that constantly correct themselves. A hormone system often behaves less like a switch and more like a self-steering ship. Sensors in the body detect a change, glands release a chemical signal, tissues respond, and then the same system measures the result to decide whether to keep going or ease off. This is how the body avoids extremes. If blood pressure rises, if body temperature shifts, if energy availability changes, hormone loops can push conditions back toward a safer middle. What makes this so fascinating is that the loop does not need awareness. It is automatic stability, built from chemical cause and effect. Some loops are fast, adjusting within minutes, while others work gradually over hours or days, fine-tuning long-term balance. Many loops also have layers, with one gland signaling another in a chain that allows tighter control than a single step could provide. When these loops work well, you rarely notice them, because they prevent dramatic swings before they appear. The quiet miracle is that your body spends every moment correcting itself, using hormones as a continuous conversation between measurement and response. Antler growth in deer is one of the fastest hormone-driven bone growth processes known. Antlers are not permanent structures, they are rebuilt from scratch, again and again, with a speed that feels almost impossible for bone. During the growth season, the antler is covered in a living layer called velvet, packed with blood vessels and nerves. That velvet feeds the expanding bone with minerals, oxygen, and growth signals, allowing new tissue to form at a breathtaking rate. Hormones coordinate this surge, linking the season to changes in metabolism, circulation, and bone-building activity. The process is not simply adding length. Antlers branch, thicken, and shape themselves into complex forms that must be strong enough to withstand impact. Later, as conditions shift, hormone patterns change again. The velvet is shed, blood supply reduces, and the antler becomes a hardened tool rather than a growing organ. This cycle is a showcase of what hormones can do when they mobilize the body's resources toward a single construction project. In a short span of time, an animal can produce a large, intricate piece of living architecture, using chemistry to turn calcium and protein into a sesamoid crown. Thyroxine helps regulate energy use in nearly every cell of the body. Thyroxine is one of the body's great tempo setters. Instead of telling a single organ what to do, it influences the baseline pace of countless cellular processes. In many tissues, it affects how actively cells burn fuel, how much heat they generate, and how quickly they build and recycle the molecular machinery that keeps them alive. This is why changes in thyroid signaling can make the whole body feel different, not just one region. Skin texture, sensitivity to cold, heart rate, digestion speed, and mental clarity can all shift because the underlying cellular economy has been retuned. Thyroxine also interacts with development because growing tissues need an appropriate metabolic pace to build correctly. Too slow, and growth and repair struggle. Too fast, and the system can feel overstimulated and wasteful. The awe-inspiring part is that a small gland can influence the energy behavior of an entire organism through a signal that travels everywhere. Thyroxine is not a loud instruction, it is a background setting, quietly deciding how fast life runs at the level of each tiny cell. Hormones can cross the placenta and influence development before birth. Before a baby takes a first breath, development is already shaped by a chemical environment that carries information about the outside world. The placenta is not a perfect wall. It is a selective interface, allowing certain molecules to pass while blocking others. Some hormones from the mother can cross into the developing body, and some hormones produced by the placenta itself enter both circulations, shaping growth in both directions. These signals help coordinate development, timing, and resource delivery. They influence how organs mature, how tissues allocate energy, and how the developing brain prepares for life after birth. This is not simply about building a body, it is about tuning that body to expected conditions. The placenta can adjust nutrient transport and hormone signaling in response to stress, illness, or nutritional state. That means prenatal development is not isolated. It is responsive. The fascinating implication is that biology begins as a conversation between generations, carried by chemistry. Hormones become a way for a developing organism to receive early forecasts about the world it is about to enter, shaping foundational patterns that can echo long after birth. Stress hormones can temporarily boost immune defenses before suppressing them later. In an immediate emergency, the body often benefits from a short burst of readiness. Stress hormones can help mobilize immune resources quickly, increasing certain defensive activities so the body is prepared for injury or infection that might follow danger. This short-term effect makes evolutionary sense because threats in nature often came with wounds. Yet the same stress chemistry, when prolonged, can push the immune system in the opposite direction. Maintaining high alertness is expensive. Over time, the body begins to conserve and immune activity can be dampened, making it harder to fight off invaders and easier for information patterns to become unbalanced. The shift is not a contradiction, it is a trade. Short-term defense, long-term cost control. This two-phase behavior is one reason chronic stress can feel like it changes the entire texture of health. The immune system is not simply on or off, it is strategically managed. Stress hormones act like a temporary wartime budget, then a forced austerity plan, all depending on duration. That time dependence is what makes the story so striking. Chemistry that helps you survive the moment can become harmful when the moment never ends. Insects use ecdysone to trigger complete body reorganization during molting. Ecdysone is one of the most dramatic hormones in nature because it can tell an animal to rebuild itself. In many insects, growth is not a gentle, continuous stretch. The body is constrained by an external skeleton, so expansion requires molting. And in certain stages, it requires metamorphosis. When ecdysone rises at key times, tissues respond in carefully choreographed ways. Some structures are broken down, others are rebuilt, and new adult features emerge from hidden clusters of cells that were waiting for the right chemical signal. The transformation can include wings, antennae, legs, mouthparts, and internal organs, all changing while the insect remains alive. What makes this mind-bending is coordination. A body cannot become a new form randomly. It must maintain vital functions while rearranging itself. Ecdysone helps provide that timing and order, working with other signals to ensure the change happens in a survivable sequence. Metamorphosis is not magic, but it is close. It is chemistry, turning one life strategy into another, letting a crawling larva become a flying adult through a hormonal command that rewrites the blueprint in motion. Hormones help translate social experiences into long-term biological change. Social life can leave marks that are more than memory. Hormones provide one pathway by which relationships, isolation, threat, and support can become biology. When social experiences change stress levels, safety signals, or belonging, hormone patterns shift, and those patterns can influence brain circuits that govern attention, vigilance, and trust. Over time, repeated social environments can shape baseline settings, such as how reactive the body is to challenge or how quickly it returns to calm. In developing individuals, this effect can be especially strong because the brain is still building its expectations about the world. Hormones can also influence which genes are more active in certain tissues through chemical tags that change how DNA is used, allowing experience to alter gene expression without altering the gene sequence itself. This is one reason environment and biology are inseparable. Hormones help convert lived experience into durable changes in physiology, shaping resilience, sensitivity, and behavior. The wonder is that social reality, something that seems external and intangible, can become internal and physical through endocrine pathways that record patterns over time. Aldosterone quietly controls blood pressure by managing microscopic salt movements. Aldosterone works in the background, far from the drama of adrenaline, yet its influence is everywhere. It acts mainly on the kidneys, where it guides how much sodium is retained and how much is released into urine. That decision matters because water follows sodium. When more sodium is kept, water is held too, increasing blood volume and supporting blood pressure. When sodium is released, water tends to leave with it, reducing volume and easing pressure. This might sound simple, but it operates through microscopic transport proteins that move ions across cell membranes, one tiny exchange at a time, repeated across vast numbers of kidney cells. Aldosterone also influences potassium handling, which matters for electrical stability in muscles and the heart. The awe-inspiring part is that a molecule can shape the pressure inside your arteries by directing countless invisible ion movements in filtering organs you rarely think about. Blood pressure feels like a single number, but it is the outcome of trillions of molecular choices. Aldosterone is one of the main chemical supervisors of those choices, keeping circulation stable across changing hydration, diet, and activity. Some hormones only function at extremely specific times of day. Timing can be the difference between a helpful hormone and a confusing signal. Many endocrine messages are designed to arrive when tissues are primed to interpret them. That priming comes from internal clocks in cells that change receptor sensitivity and downstream chemistry across the day and night cycle. A hormone released at the wrong time may produce a weaker effect, or even push physiology in an unhelpful direction, because the body is in a different state of readiness. This is one reason the same chemical messenger can be linked to alertness in one phase and to recovery in another. The body uses time windows to separate tasks, so that energy mobilization, repair, immune tuning, and memory processing do not all compete at once. It is not only the hormone that matters, it is the schedule that gives it meaning. The fascinating implication is that the endocrine system speaks in timing as much as in chemistry, and tissues listen with daily expectations built into their molecular machinery. In a real sense, your body is a timed ecosystem, and certain hormonal messages are only fully understood when they arrive at the precise hour they were evolved to occupy. Hormones can alter how genes are read without changing the genetic code itself. Genes are not destiny in the way people often imagine. The DNA sequence is like a library, but cells choose which books to open, which chapters to reread, and which pages to keep closed. Hormones influence those choices by triggering molecular pathways that add or remove chemical markers around DNA and its packaging proteins. These markers can make certain genes easier to access or harder to activate, shifting what the cell produces without rewriting the underlying code. This is one of the ways the body adapts to long-term conditions. A sustained hormone environment can encourage a cell to emphasize repair pathways, adjust energy handling, or change how it responds to future signals. Some of these changes can persist, creating longer-lasting patterns of gene expression that shape tissue behavior over time. The wonder here is subtle. A hormone can create stability or flexibility not by changing what you are, but by changing which parts of your genetic potential are expressed in a given moment. It is chemistry guiding interpretation, turning the genome from a static script into a responsive performance. The hormone vasopressin plays a role in memory, social bonding, and water balance. Vasopressin is a remarkable example of how evolution layers meaning onto chemistry. In the body, one of its essential roles is maintaining water balance. When hydration drops, vasopressin signals the kidneys to conserve water, stabilizing blood volume and circulation. This function alone can determine survival in dry or demanding conditions. At the same time, vasopressin acts within the brain, where it influences how social information is processed and remembered. Certain neural circuits use vasopressin to strengthen recognition of familiar individuals and to reinforce social boundaries. In some species, this hormone contributes to pair bonding, territorial awareness, and long-term social memory. What makes vasopressin especially fascinating is that its physical and social roles share a common theme of preservation. It helps retain water within the body and stability within relationships. Both functions reduce risk in unpredictable environments. Through vasopressin, biology links survival of the body with continuity of social structure, showing how a single molecule can support both physical balance and the memory of who matters. Salmon rely on hormone cascades to survive the transition from ocean to fresh water. A salmon's journey from the ocean into freshwater rivers requires a complete internal reorganization. The chemistry of seawater and river water is profoundly different, and without preparation, cells would swell or shrink dangerously. Hormones initiate this preparation long before the fish reaches freshwater. Gill cells begin altering how they transport salts, switching from releasing excess salt to conserving it. Kidneys change how they filter and retain water. Metabolism shifts to support endurance and tissue maintenance during the taxing migration. These changes occur in overlapping stages, guided by multiple hormones working together as a cascade. Each signal prepares the body for the next adjustment, creating a smooth transition rather than a shock. Behavior is also affected, sustaining the drive to swim upstream, despite exhaustion. The astonishing reality is that a salmon does not simply tolerate environmental change. It actively rewrites its internal rules through hormonal coordination. This ability allows a single organism to thrive in two worlds that would otherwise be chemically incompatible. Hormones coordinate healing by deciding when inflammation should stop. Inflammation is an essential defense, but it is also inherently destructive if allowed to persist. Hormones play a critical role in determining not only when inflammation begins, but when it must end. Early in injury or infection, hormone patterns support immune activation, increasing blood flow and directing defensive cells to the affected area. As the threat diminishes, different hormonal signals emerge that encourage resolution. These signals tell immune cells to withdraw, promote cleanup of damaged material, and allow tissue rebuilding to take priority. Without this hormonal guidance, inflammation could linger and damage healthy structures. Hormones also integrate broader context into healing decisions. Energy availability, stress levels, and overall health all influence how quickly inflammation is shut down. This ensures that repair proceeds at a pace the body can support. Healing, therefore, is not a single reaction. It is a staged process, and hormones serve as conductors, ensuring that defense yields to restoration at precisely the right time. Leptin helps the brain sense long-term energy reserves rather than hunger alone. Leptin provides the brain with a long-range perspective on energy security. Unlike hunger signals that respond to recent meals, leptin reflects stored energy accumulated over time. Fat tissue releases leptin in proportion to its reserves, allowing the brain to estimate whether the body is living in abundance or scarcity. This information influences appetite, metabolism, and even decisions about growth and reproduction. When leptin levels suggest adequate reserves, the brain permits energy-intensive processes to continue. When leptin signals depletion, the brain encourages conservation and restraint. Leptin also shapes how strongly food cues attract attention, subtly adjusting motivation rather than forcing behavior. What makes leptin especially fascinating is its role in patience. It prevents the body from overreacting to short-term fluctuations, grounding decisions in longer-term trends. Through leptin, the body develops a sense of energetic foresight, balancing present needs against future survival. Hormonal signals allow cells to cooperate instead of competing for resources. In a multicellular organism, survival depends on cooperation among countless individual cells. Without coordination, cells could compete for nutrients, oxygen, and space, undermining the whole system. Hormones prevent this by broadcasting shared priorities. They signal when growth should occur, when resources should be stored, and when certain tissues should take precedence. During development, hormones guide cells towards specialized roles, reducing competition by assigning purpose. During stress, hormones temporarily redirect resources towards systems that support immediate survival. Over longer periods, they rebalance distribution to restore equity among tissues. This chemical governance allows trillions of cells to function as a unified economy rather than a battlefield. The deeper insight is that cooperation is not assumed in biology. It is enforced through signaling. Hormones create the rules that make collective survival possible, ensuring that individual cells serve the organism rather than themselves. Reptiles use temperature-sensitive hormones to determine the sex of offspring. In many reptiles, sex is not fixed at conception. Instead, temperature during a narrow window of development influences hormone activity that guides sexual differentiation. Slight differences in warmth can alter enzyme activity, shifting hormone pathways toward male or female development. This mechanism allows populations to adjust sex ratios in response to environmental conditions, which can improve long-term survival. Hormones act as translators, converting temperature into biological instruction. This system demonstrates an extraordinary openness between environment and development. The world outside the egg becomes a participant in shaping identity. Rather than rigidly encoding outcomes, biology uses hormonal sensitivity to adapt. The astonishing result is that something as subtle as heat can guide fundamental aspects of life history, revealing how deeply development is intertwined with environmental context through endocrine pathways. Hormones shape voice pitch and communication styles during development. As bodies mature, hormones influence the growth and tuning of structures involved in sound production. Vocal cords change in length and thickness, resonance spaces shift, and breathing patterns adapt. These physical changes alter pitch and tone, but hormones also act in the brain, shaping circuits involved in communication. They influence how signals are timed, emphasized, and modulated in social interaction. This dual influence ensures that voice development is not only anatomical, but expressive. Communication styles evolve alongside identity, guided by chemistry that links physical form with social function. The result is that voice becomes both a biological and social signal, reflecting internal development and external role. Hormones quietly ensure that communication grows in step with the rest of the organism, allowing sound to carry meaning shaped by maturation. Ghrelin does more than trigger hunger and also influences learning and reward. Ghrelin rises when the body anticipates a need for food, but its influence extends into cognitive systems. It enhances attention toward cues associated with nourishment and increases the brain's readiness to learn from food-related experiences. Ghrelin interacts with reward circuits, making exploration and persistence more likely when energy is needed. This connection ensures that hunger is paired with problem-solving rather than paralysis. By influencing memory formation, ghrelin helps organisms remember where resources were found and how they were obtained. This transforms hunger into a driver of learning. The hormone does not merely create discomfort, it mobilizes cognition. Through ghrelin, physical need becomes mental focus, integrating metabolism with adaptive behavior. Some hormones act as braking systems that prevent runaway reactions. Biological systems often rely on amplification, but amplification without restraint can be destructive. Some hormones serve as internal brakes, reducing sensitivity or counteracting activating signals. They help prevent stress responses from overwhelming tissues, stop growth from becoming uncontrolled, and limit immune reactions before they cause damage. These braking hormones shape intensity and duration rather than stopping processes outright. They allow flexibility without chaos. Without them, helpful responses could spiral into harm. The elegance of this system lies in balance. Activation and restraint are paired, ensuring that power is matched with control. Hormonal brakes protect the body from its own capacity for escalation, maintaining stability through moderation. Hormones enable the body to predict future needs rather than just react. Hormonal signaling is often anticipatory rather than reactive. Daily rhythms prepare the body for waking and rest before either occurs. Seasonal signals adjust metabolism and behavior ahead of environmental change. Stress hormones mobilize energy before action begins. This forward-looking strategy reduces delay and increases efficiency. Hormones integrate past experience and present cues to forecast likely demands. By adjusting internal settings in advance, the body avoids costly lag. This predictive capacity transforms biology into a forecasting system, allowing life to stay one step ahead of uncertainty. Hormones do not wait for crisis, they prepare for possibility. The endocrine system communicates more slowly than nerves, but with greater reach. Nervous signals are like sparks, fast, precise, and brief, while endocrine signals are more like weather moving across a landscape. Hormones travel through blood and tissue fluids, reaching cells that may be far from where the message began. This slower delivery is not a weakness, it is a different kind of power. A nerve can tell a muscle to twitch in an instant, but a hormone can shift the behavior of many organs at once, shaping metabolism, temperature regulation, immune activity, and mood over sustained periods. Because hormones circulate, they can coordinate systems that would otherwise act independently, ensuring the liver, muscles, brain, and fat tissue respond to the same internal story. Hormonal messages also linger longer than nerve impulses, giving the body time to maintain a new setting, not just react in a moment. This broad reach makes the endocrine system ideal for guiding long-term processes like development, seasonal adaptation, and recovery after strain. The wonder is that you carry two communication networks, one designed for speed and one designed for unity, and the slower one often defines the overall state your body lives in. Elephants rely on complex hormone cycles to coordinate long gestation periods. An elephant pregnancy is a long commitment that requires extraordinary coordination across months of gradual change. Hormone cycles help manage this by sustaining the pregnancy, regulating energy use, and guiding the timing of fetal development, so the newborn arrives ready for an enormous world. The mother's body must support a growing fetus without compromising her own survival, which means metabolism, circulation, and immune tolerance need careful tuning. Hormones help shift these systems in stages, adjusting appetite and nutrient handling, changing tissue flexibility, and preparing mammary glands well before birth. They also help coordinate behavior, influencing rest patterns, movement, and social interactions that support the safety of the mother and calf. In a social species like elephants, hormonal changes may also interact with group dynamics, encouraging protective attention from relatives and reinforcing the cohesion that helps vulnerable young cria survive. The awe-inspiring part is how long the body can hold a stable developmental plan while still adapting day by day to environment and stress. Elephant gestation shows hormones as long-range project managers, guiding a living construction process that must remain precise for a very long time. Hormones influence how pain is perceived and remembered. Pain is not a simple signal from injured tissue. It is an experience shaped by context, expectation, and biology. Hormones help tune that experience by changing how strongly pain signals are amplified in the nervous system and how much emotional weight they carry. In acute danger, certain hormone states can dampen pain temporarily, allowing movement and survival even when the body is damaged. In calmer settings, other hormone patterns can heighten sensitivity, making small injuries feel urgent so they are protected during healing. Hormones also influence how pain becomes memory. The brain does not store pain as a single sensation. It stores meaning, including fear, relief, and lessons about what to avoid. Hormonal state during an event can strengthen or soften that learning, affecting whether pain leaves a lasting imprint or fades more cleanly. Over time, repeated hormone environments can change baseline sensitivity, influencing how the nervous system interprets signals from the body. The remarkable implication is that pain is partly a story the body tells itself, and hormones help write the tone of that story, determining how loud it feels in the present and how long it echoes afterward. Calcitonin helps protect bones by carefully regulating calcium storage. Bones are not inert pillars. They are living reservoirs that store minerals and constantly remodel themselves. Calcitonin participates in this balancing act by helping regulate calcium levels, protecting both skeleton strength and blood chemistry. When calcium levels rise, calcitonin can signal certain bone cells to slow the release of calcium from the skeleton, encouraging storage rather than withdrawal. This matters because calcium is needed for crucial functions, such as muscle contraction and nerve signaling, yet too much free calcium in the bloodstream can disrupt normal physiology. Calcitonin therefore helps maintain a safe range by influencing how bone is remodeled and how mineral is handled. Its role highlights a deeper truth. The skeleton is a dynamic organ that participates in whole body stability. Calcitonin is part of the quiet governance system that decides when bone should be built, when it should be protected, and how mineral should be budgeted. The awe-inspiring aspect is that every step you take rests on chemistry that is constantly negotiating between structural strength and the needs of moment-by-moment cellular function. Hormonal shifts can reorganize brain circuits during adolescence. Adolescence is not only a period of growth, it is a period of neurological redesign. Hormones rising during this stage influence how brain circuits strengthen, prune, and reconfigure. Some connections become more efficient and stable, while others weaken and fade, allowing the brain to specialize in ways that match adult life. These hormonal influences affect regions involved in reward, social awareness, risk evaluation, and emotional regulation, which helps explain why adolescence can feel intense and unpredictable. The brain is learning new priorities, and hormones act as the chemical context in which that learning is shaped. Sleep patterns often shift, energy rhythms change, and sensitivity to social feedback increases, all guided in part by endocrine changes. What makes this mind-bending is that the brain is not simply getting bigger, it is changing its strategy. Hormones help tune how experience is interpreted and how strongly it alters wiring, making adolescence a window in which learning can remodel identity with unusual force. It is a chemical-assisted transformation, turning a child's brain into a brain prepared for adult complexity. Birds' singing behavior is tightly linked to seasonal hormone changes. For many birds, song is not random beauty. It is timed communication that rises and falls with the seasons. Hormone changes triggered by shifting daylight influence the brain regions that control singing and the muscles that produce sound. As breeding season approaches, hormone patterns can increase song frequency, complexity, and persistence because song becomes a tool for attracting mates and defending territory. Outside that season, the same birds may sing less or simplify their calls, conserving energy when song is less useful. Hormones also influence responsiveness, shaping how strongly a bird reacts to the songs of rivals and potential partners. This seasonal tuning turns the landscape into an acoustic calendar. The astonishing part is that the impulse to sing is not only a choice, it is a biological readiness state. Hormones coordinate the timing so that song behavior aligns with nesting, courtship, and the availability of resources needed to raise young. Birdsong reveals hormones as composers, not writing the melody directly, but deciding when the music should fill the air and what role it should play in survival. Hormones allow tissues to grow in proportion rather than at random. A body is not a pile of independently growing parts. Organs must scale together. Limbs must match torso size. Blood supply must keep pace, and the brain must remain supported by the systems it controls. Hormones help enforce this proportionality by acting as shared growth signals that coordinate timing and rate across tissues. When growth accelerates, hormones guide where resources go and how different tissues respond, preventing some regions from expanding too quickly, while others lag behind. They also influence how cells interpret mechanical stress, nutrient availability, and developmental stage, allowing growth to be shaped, not just increased. Proportion is essential for function. A heart must match body size, lungs must match oxygen demand, and bones must match muscle forces. Hormonal control helps keep these relationships coherent. The awe-inspiring insight is that development contains a sense of geometry. Hormones help maintain the geometry by acting as the body's scaling language, ensuring that growth produces a functional form rather than a mismatched collection of parts. Corticosterone plays a central role in stress responses across many animal species. In many animals, corticosterone is a key chemical messenger for managing stress, helping bodies respond to threat, scarcity, or challenge. It mobilizes energy by influencing how fuels are released and used, ensuring muscles and brain have what they need when action may be required. It also shapes behavior, increasing vigilance and adjusting priorities toward survival. In the short term, this can be helpful, sharpening responsiveness and supporting endurance. Over longer periods, sustained corticosterone can shift immune activity and reproductive investment, reflecting a biological trade-off that favors survival over long-term projects. What makes corticosterone fascinating is its broad conservation across species. Different animals may face different threats, yet similar endocrine logic appears again and again. This suggests that stress chemistry is an ancient toolkit, refined through evolution to manage uncertainty. Corticosterone is not a sign of weakness, it is a signal of adaptation, allowing organisms to shift into a state optimized for challenge. The deeper wonder is that the same molecule can support both readiness and cost control, depending on how long the storm lasts. Hormones help the body balance growth with repair. The body constantly negotiates between building new structure and maintaining what already exists. Growth requires energy and raw materials, but repair also requires investment. Hormones help decide how resources are divided between these two needs. In childhood, signals favor expansion, supporting rapid development and learning. In adulthood, hormonal patterns shift toward maintenance, encouraging tissue renewal, immune balance, and structural preservation. When injury occurs, hormones can temporarily redirect resources toward healing, slowing certain growth-like processes so repair can take priority. This balancing act is essential because unchecked growth can lead to instability, while insufficient repair leads to gradual decline. Hormones allow the body to adjust the balance based on context, such as nutrition, stress, and activity. The awe-inspiring aspect is that you are never simply growing or simply repairing. You are always doing both. Hormones act as budget planners for biology, ensuring that the body invests in the future without neglecting the present. Some hormones act only within the cell that produces them. Not all hormonal communication is long distance. Some signals are made and used within the same cell, acting as private instructions that never enter the bloodstream. These local hormones can change gene activity, metabolism, or stress responses without broadcasting to the rest of the body. This allows extremely precise control. A cell can adjust its own behavior based on internal conditions, such as energy availability or molecular damage, without involving distant organs. This kind of signaling is especially useful for fine-tuning because it avoids unintended effects elsewhere. It also reveals that endocrine logic exists at multiple scales. There is the body-wide messaging system, but also the intimate chemical conversations inside individual cells. The awe-inspiring insight is that every cell can behave like a tiny decision-maker, producing and responding to its own signals to maintain stability. Hormones are therefore not only messengers between organs, they can be internal guides, shaping life from the inside out at the smallest scale. Hormones help coordinate appetite with energy expenditure. Eating and burning energy are not independent decisions in the body. They are tightly coordinated processes guided by hormones that act like internal accountants. When energy intake rises, certain hormonal signals inform tissues that resources are available, encouraging storage, growth, or increased activity. When intake falls, other signals promote conservation, efficiency, and the careful use of reserves. This coordination prevents wild swings between excess and depletion. Appetite hormones do not merely trigger eating, they also interact with systems that regulate how quickly energy is spent through movement, heat production, and cellular work. This means the body adjusts both sides of the equation together. If activity increases, appetite signals may rise to match demand. If resources are scarce, expenditure can quietly decrease even without conscious awareness. The remarkable part is that much of this balancing happens below perception. You may feel hungry or full, energetic or tired, without realizing that hormones are constantly integrating information about stored fuel, recent intake, and predicted needs. Through this system, the body aims for sustainability rather than immediate gratification, using chemistry to align desire with capacity over time. Prairie voles form lifelong bonds influenced by oxytocin and vasopressin patterns. Prairie voles have become famous in science because of their unusual social behavior. Unlike many mammals, they often form long-lasting pair bonds, sharing nests and cooperating in raising offspring. Hormones play a central role in this bonding. Oxytocin and vasopressin act in specific brain regions that link social interaction with reward and memory. When these hormones are released during close contact, they help associate a particular partner with safety and comfort. Over time, this association becomes stable, making the presence of that partner feel uniquely significant. What is especially fascinating is that closely related vole species differ in bonding behavior because of differences in where hormone receptors are expressed in the brain, not because of different hormones themselves. This shows that small changes in hormone sensitivity can reshape social organization. Prairie voles reveal how chemistry can support enduring relationships, turning fleeting interactions into lasting bonds that influence behavior across an entire lifetime. Hormones can influence how long cells live before being replaced. Cells are not immortal. Each type has a typical lifespan, after which it is removed and replaced. Hormones help regulate this turnover by influencing survival signals, stress resistance, and programmed cell death pathways. In some tissues, hormones encourage longevity, supporting repair mechanisms that allow cells to function longer. In others, they promote timely replacement, ensuring damaged or outdated cells are cleared away. This balance is essential for health. Too much survival can allow malfunctioning cells to persist. Too much turnover can exhaust regenerative capacity. Hormones integrate information about age, stress, nutrition, and injury to adjust these decisions. They help tissues adapt their renewal strategy to current conditions. The awe-inspiring insight is that life at the cellular level is managed through negotiated timing. Hormones help decide not only what cells do, but how long they remain part of the living system, quietly shaping renewal across the body. Parathyroid hormone quietly manages calcium levels minute by minute. Calcium is vital for muscles, nerves, and many cellular processes, yet its concentration in the blood must remain within a narrow range. Parathyroid hormone helps maintain this balance with remarkable precision. It acts on bones, kidneys, and the digestive system to adjust how calcium is released, conserved, or absorbed. When blood calcium dips, parathyroid hormone signals bones to release small amounts and kidneys to reduce loss. When levels rise, its activity decreases, allowing balance to return. These adjustments happen continuously, often without any noticeable sensation. The system is so finely tuned that even minor disruptions can affect muscle function or heart rhythm. The astonishing part is that bones are not passive structures. They act as dynamic reservoirs, and parathyroid hormone is one of the key managers deciding when to withdraw or deposit mineral. Through this quiet chemical control, the body maintains electrical stability and structural strength simultaneously. Hormonal signaling allows the body to adapt to altitude and oxygen scarcity. At high altitude, oxygen is scarce, and cells face an immediate challenge. Hormones help the body respond by coordinating changes across multiple systems. They influence breathing patterns, encouraging deeper or faster respiration. They signal the production of additional red blood cells to improve oxygen transport. They adjust metabolism, so tissues use oxygen more efficiently. These changes unfold over time, allowing gradual adaptation rather than sudden strain. Hormones also help regulate blood flow, directing oxygen toward vital organs while maintaining overall stability. This adaptation is not simply physical, it is chemical planning. The body learns a new normal through endocrine guidance. The awe-inspiring aspect is that humans and other animals can inhabit environments that differ dramatically from sea level because hormones help rewrite internal expectations, allowing life to persist where oxygen is thin and every breath matters more. Insects use hormones to synchronize entire populations to emerge at once. Some insects appear suddenly in enormous numbers, filling the air or covering the ground almost overnight. This mass emergence is not coincidence, it is hormonally coordinated timing. Developmental hormones regulate when larvae or pupae complete their transformation, responding to environmental cues such as temperature or seasonal change. Because individuals share similar signals, entire populations can synchronize their emergence. This strategy offers powerful advantages. Predators are overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Mating opportunities increase. Environmental conditions are briefly ideal for survival. Hormones make this coordination possible by aligning internal clocks across many individuals without direct communication. The remarkable insight is that chemistry can create collective behavior at a population scale. Hormonal timing allows insects to act as if they share a calendar, turning individual development into a coordinated biological event. Hormones help determine when curiosity turns into caution. Exploration carries both opportunity and risk. Hormones help balance these opposing forces by shaping how the brain evaluates novelty. In certain states, hormonal patterns promote curiosity, increasing attention and willingness to investigate new environments. In others, the same systems tilt toward caution, heightening sensitivity to potential threat. This balance shifts with context. Hunger, safety, fatigue, and social support can all influence the hormonal backdrop against which decisions are made. Rather than forcing behavior, hormones adjust the emotional weight of outcomes, making exploration feel rewarding or risky. This flexibility is essential for survival, allowing organisms to seek resources without ignoring danger. The awe-inspiring aspect is that curiosity itself has a chemical component. Hormones quietly help decide when to approach and when to withdraw, guiding behavior through feeling rather than calculation. Thyroid hormones influence how quickly thoughts feel like they move. Thyroid hormones help regulate the overall pace of cellular activity, and the brain is no exception. When these hormones shift, mental tempo can change. Thoughts may feel quicker or slower, attention sharper or more diffuse. This is not about intelligence, but about processing speed and energy availability. Neurons rely on metabolic support to fire efficiently, and thyroid hormones help set that baseline. They influence how readily signals propagate and how quickly systems reset after activity. This is why changes in thyroid signaling can affect concentration, alertness, and mental stamina. The fascinating part is that subjective experience can reflect molecular pacing. How means much as what you think can be shaped by hormones that quietly tune the speed of the brain's internal machinery. Hormones can create lasting effects from brief, early life experiences. Early development is a period of heightened sensitivity. During this time, brief hormonal changes can leave enduring marks on physiology and behavior. Stress, nutrition, and social environment can alter hormone patterns that influence how tissues develop and how neural circuits organize. Even short-lived changes can adjust baseline settings, shaping how the body responds to challenge later in life. These effects are often stored through long-lasting changes in gene regulation, allowing early signals to echo across decades. This does not mean fate is fixed, but it does mean beginnings matter. Hormones help translate early experience into biological memory. The awe-inspiring insight is that a fleeting moment can become part of the body's long-term story, written not in conscious recollection, but in chemistry. Fish schooling behavior is partially coordinated through hormone-mediated cues. Schooling fish move with extraordinary coordination, turning and accelerating as if guided by a shared mind. While vision and sensory cues play a role, hormones contribute by shaping responsiveness and social sensitivity. Hormonal state can influence how strongly an individual fish reacts to the movement of neighbors, adjusting alignment and spacing. Stress-related hormones can tighten schools, increasing cohesion when danger is near. Calmer states may allow looser formations. This chemical tuning helps schools remain flexible rather than rigid, adapting shape and density to context. The remarkable aspect is that hormones do not dictate movement directly. They set the sensitivity that allows collective patterns to emerge. Through endocrine influence, individual bodies become better listeners to the group, allowing coordinated behavior to arise from simple rules shaped by shared chemistry. Hormones help regulate body temperature without conscious awareness. Your body temperature feels stable most of the time, yet it is constantly being adjusted in response to internal and external conditions. Hormones play a central role in this quiet regulation. They influence how much heat is produced by cells, how much is retained, and how much is released into the environment. Certain hormonal signals increase metabolic activity, causing cells to generate more heat, while others encourage heat loss by widening blood vessels near the skin or promoting cooling behaviors. These adjustments happen continuously, even while you sleep, without any need for conscious input. Hormones also integrate temperature control with other priorities. During illness, for example, hormonal shifts can support fever, raising body temperature to make conditions less favorable for pathogens. During scarcity, the body may conserve heat to save energy. What makes this fascinating is that temperature regulation is not a simple thermostat. It is a negotiated process that balances energy availability, immune activity, and environmental exposure. Hormones allow the body to maintain thermal stability while still adapting to changing demands, turning temperature into a flexible tool rather than a fixed number. The hormone erythropoietin stimulates red blood cell production in response to oxygen levels. Oxygen is essential for cellular life, yet the body cannot store large reserves of it. Instead, it relies on constant delivery through red blood cells. Erythropoietin helps manage this delivery by adjusting how many red blood cells are produced. When oxygen availability drops, such as at high altitude or during prolonged exertion, erythropoietin levels rise. This hormone signals the bone marrow to increase production of red blood cells, expanding the blood's capacity to carry oxygen. This process unfolds over days and weeks, allowing gradual adaptation rather than sudden strain. Erythropoietin does not act blindly. It responds to precise chemical sensing of oxygen levels in tissues, ensuring that production matches need. Once oxygen delivery improves, hormone levels fall, preventing excess thickening of the blood. The awe-inspiring aspect is that the body can sense something as invisible as oxygen scarcity and respond by altering its own cellular population. Through erythropoietin, chemistry becomes a feedback system that tunes the very makeup of the blood to match the demands of the environment. Hormonal communication allows distant organs to behave as a unified system. Your organs are physically separate, yet they often act in harmony as if they were parts of a single decision-making entity. Hormones make this possible by carrying messages that coordinate behavior across distance. A signal released by one gland can influence the liver, muscles, brain, and immune system simultaneously, aligning their actions toward a shared goal. This is especially important for processes that require cooperation, such as responding to stress, regulating energy, or preparing for sleep. Hormonal messages persist longer than nerve signals, allowing organs to stay aligned over extended periods rather than responding in brief flashes. This shared chemical language helps prevent conflict between systems. Instead of competing for resources, organs adjust together, shifting priorities in a coordinated way. The wonder lies in scale. A tiny molecule released in one location can influence trillions of cells elsewhere, turning the body into a synchronized network. Hormones transform anatomical separation into functional unity, allowing life to behave as a cohesive whole rather than a collection of independent parts. Amphibians rely on hormonal timing to survive dramatic environmental shifts. Amphibians often live at the boundary between water and land, environments that can change rapidly and unpredictably. Hormones help them survive these shifts by coordinating development, metabolism, and behavior with environmental timing. As conditions change, hormonal signals can trigger transformations that alter breathing structures, skin properties, and feeding strategies. These changes are not immediate reactions, but time transitions that unfold in stages. Hormones ensure that tissues change in the correct order, preventing dangerous mismatches where one system adapts faster than another. Seasonal drying, temperature changes, and food availability all influence hormonal patterns that guide these adjustments. The remarkable aspect is that amphibians do not simply endure environmental instability. They anticipate it. Hormones help align internal change with external cycles, allowing survival in habitats where consistency cannot be assumed. Through endocrine timing, amphibians demonstrate how life can remain flexible without losing coherence, adapting repeatedly across shifting worlds. Hormones influence how the brain assigns meaning to sensory input. The brain does not passively record the world. It interprets it, deciding what matters and what can be ignored. Hormones influence this process by shaping attention, emotional tone, and memory formation. The same sound, sight, or touch can feel comforting, threatening, or meaningless depending on hormonal state. Signals associated with safety can soften perception, allowing the brain to filter out background noise. Signals associated with stress or alertness can sharpen focus, making details stand out with urgency. Hormones also influence how strongly sensory experiences are remembered, attaching emotional weight that can shape future behavior. This means perception is never purely objective. It is chemically colored by internal context. The awe-inspiring implication is that hormones help create subjective reality. They do not change the external world, but they change how that world is experienced and remembered. Through this influence, chemistry helps decide what becomes meaningful, guiding learning and behavior through feeling rather than logic alone. Insulin-like growth factors guide tissue repair after injury. After injury, tissues face a delicate challenge. they must rebuild structure without creating instability. Insulin-like growth factors help manage this process by supporting cell survival, division, and differentiation in damaged areas. These hormones encourage cells to migrate into wounds, produce new structural proteins, and re-establish functional connections. Their influence is context-sensitive. They act more strongly where repair is needed and less where tissue is already stable. This prevents excessive growth while still promoting healing. Insulin-like growth factors also interact with mechanical signals, responding to physical stress and movement during recovery. This integration helps tissues rebuild in a way that restores strength and function rather than simply filling space. The awe-inspiring aspect is that repair is not blind regrowth. It is guided reconstruction. Hormones provide the chemical framework that allows healing to be precise, coordinated, and adaptable to the demands placed on the recovering tissue. Hormones can create biological trade-offs between growth and survival. Resources in the body are finite. Hormones help decide how those resources are allocated, often forcing trade-offs between competing needs. During times of abundance, hormonal patterns may favor growth, reproduction, and long-term investment. During times of stress or scarcity, those same systems can shift towards survival, conserving energy and postponing costly processes. This does not mean growth simply stops. It means priorities change. Hormones guide these shifts by altering metabolism, immune activity, and tissue maintenance. These trade-offs are not flaws. They are adaptive strategies shaped by evolution. The fascinating part is that the body is constantly negotiating its future against its present. Hormones serve as the negotiators, weighing immediate safety against long-term potential. Through this process, biology accepts compromise as a path to survival, ensuring that life continues even when conditions are less than ideal. Migratory insects depend on hormonal switches to enter energy-saving states. Many migratory insects face journeys that demand extreme efficiency. Hormones help prepare them by triggering energy-saving states before migration begins. These states can reduce metabolic rate, suppress reproduction, and alter behavior to conserve fuel. Hormonal switches help insects accumulate energy reserves and then protect those reserves during travel. Once migration ends, different hormone patterns allow normal activity and reproduction to resume. This ability to shift states is essential because migration requires endurance rather than growth. The remarkable aspect is that these insects do not consciously decide to conserve energy. Chemistry does it for them. Hormones transform physiology to match the demands of movement across vast distances, allowing small bodies to accomplish extraordinary journeys through strategic restraint. Hormones help determine how the body responds to novelty. New experiences can represent opportunity or danger. Hormones help bias the body's response by shaping emotional and physiological readiness. Certain hormonal states encourage openness, exploration, and learning, making novelty feel intriguing rather than threatening. Other states heighten caution, increasing sensitivity to risk and promoting withdrawal. These shifts depend on context, such as energy availability, recent stress, and social environment. Hormones do not dictate behavior, but they adjust the emotional weight of options. This chemical tuning allows flexibility. The same individual can be adventurous in one situation and cautious in another. The awe-inspiring insight is that curiosity and fear are not fixed traits. They are states influenced by internal chemistry, allowing behavior to adapt fluidly to changing conditions. Some hormones only exert effects during narrow developmental windows. During development, there are brief periods when tissues are especially sensitive to hormonal signals. During these windows, hormones can guide structure, wiring, and function in ways that are not possible later. Once the window closes, the same hormone may have little or no effect on that tissue. This timing ensures that development unfolds in the correct sequence, with each stage building on the last. It also means that brief hormonal changes can have lasting consequences if they occur at the wrong time. The awe-inspiring aspect is precision. Development is not just about what signals are present, but when they arrive. Hormones provide temporal instruction, turning time itself into a developmental tool. Through these narrow windows, chemistry shapes form and function with remarkable efficiency. Hormones allow memories to carry emotional weight long after events pass. Memory is not only about storing what happened, it is about storing how it felt, and hormones play a crucial role in shaping that emotional imprint. During meaningful experiences, hormonal signals interact with brain regions involved in learning and emotion, strengthening the association between an event and its emotional tone. This process helps the brain decide which memories should remain vivid and which can safely fade. Over time, the factual details of an event may blur, yet the emotional residue can remain strong, guiding future behavior and decision-making. Hormones help maintain this emotional coloring by influencing how memories are reactivated and reconsolidated when they are recalled. Each time a memory is revisited, hormonal context can subtly reshape it, reinforcing certain feelings while softening others. This means memory is not static. It is a living process influenced by ongoing chemistry. The awe-inspiring insight is that hormones help memories act as guides rather than archives. They allow past experiences to continue informing present choices, carrying lessons forward through feeling rather than conscious analysis. Melanocyte-stimulating hormone influences skin pigmentation and appetite. Melanocyte-stimulating hormone illustrates how one chemical signal can link seemingly unrelated systems. In the skin, it influences pigment production, affecting how cells respond to sunlight and helping protect deeper tissues from damage. This role ties appearance directly to environmental exposure. At the same time, melanocyte-stimulating hormone acts in the brain, where it participates in appetite regulation and energy balance. By influencing neural circuits related to feeding behavior, it helps adjust how strongly hunger is felt and how rewarding food seems. This dual influence connects external protection with internal resource management. When conditions demand greater protection or conservation, the same hormone can contribute to both. The fascinating aspect is that pigmentation and appetite share a chemical conversation. Hormones do not respect the boundaries we mentally draw between systems. Instead, they integrate multiple priorities into unified signals, allowing the body to respond to environment and energy needs through shared chemistry. Hormonal signaling helps synchronize heart metabolism with activity levels. The heart must adapt constantly to changing demands. During rest, it needs to conserve energy and maintain steady rhythm. During activity, it must increase output and efficiency. Hormones help manage this transition by influencing how heart cells generate and use energy. Certain signals increase the availability of fuels and enhance metabolic pathways that support sustained contraction. Others promote recovery, helping the heart return to baseline after exertion. This coordination ensures that energy production matches workload, preventing fatigue or damage. Hormones also integrate heart function with the rest of the body, aligning circulation with muscle activity, temperature regulation, and stress response. The awe-inspiring aspect is that the heart does not simply beat faster or slower on command. It adjusts its internal chemistry to meet demand, guided by hormonal messages that anticipate and respond to activity. This allows the heart to remain resilient across a lifetime of changing physical challenges. Mammals rely on hormonal cues to coordinate birth timing. Birth timing is one of the most critical events in mammalian life. Hormones help ensure that it occurs when both parent and offspring are ready. As pregnancy progresses, changing hormonal patterns gradually prepare the body for labor by altering tissue flexibility, sensitivity, and muscle coordination. At the same time, these signals influence fetal development, ensuring vital systems reach sufficient maturity before birth begins. Hormonal cues also interact with environmental and physiological conditions, allowing timing to adjust if stress or illness arises. This flexibility improves survival for both mother and newborn. The remarkable insight is that birth is not triggered by a single switch. It is the result of a coordinated hormonal conversation between tissues, organs, and even generations. Hormones ensure that timing reflects readiness rather than a fixed schedule, turning birth into a carefully synchronized transition rather than a sudden event. Hormones can influence how social hierarchies form in animal groups. In many animal societies, hierarchy shapes access to resources, mates, and safety. Hormones influence how these hierarchies emerge and stabilize by shaping behavior, perception, and responsiveness to social cues. Certain hormonal states can increase confidence, persistence, or sensitivity to challenge, affecting how individuals assert themselves or retreat. Others promote tolerance and cooperation, reducing conflict when stability is beneficial. Over time, repeated interactions under similar hormonal conditions can solidify social roles. What makes this fascinating is that hierarchy is not simply about size or strength. It is also about internal chemistry that biases behavior and interpretation. Hormones help tune social dynamics, allowing groups to organize without constant conflict. The awe-inspiring aspect is that complex social structure can emerge from subtle chemical influences, turning individual interactions into enduring patterns of group behavior. Renin plays a critical role in long-term blood pressure regulation. Renin is part of a hormonal system that manages circulation over extended periods rather than momentary changes. Released in response to shifts in blood flow or salt balance, renin initiates a cascade that influences blood vessel tone and fluid balance. This system allows the body to adjust pressure gradually, maintaining stability across changes in hydration, posture, and activity. Renin helps the body anticipate long-term needs rather than reacting to short-term fluctuations. By coordinating with other hormones, it ensures that blood pressure supports organ function without placing unnecessary strain on the heart and vessels. The awe-inspiring part is that such a small signal can influence the force with which blood moves through the entire body. Renin demonstrates how long-term balance is maintained through layered hormonal communication rather than constant emergency response. Hormones help regulate the balance between rest and exploration. Life requires alternating between action and recovery. Hormones help manage this balance by shaping energy levels, motivation, and alertness. Certain hormonal patterns encourage exploration, movement, and engagement with the environment. Others support rest, repair, and inward focus. These states are not random. They shift with time of day, recent activity, and environmental safety. Hormones ensure that exploration does not exhaust resources and that rest does not become stagnation. This chemical regulation allows flexibility, letting organisms respond appropriately to opportunity or threat. The awe-inspiring insight is that motivation itself is partially hormonal. The desire to move or to pause emerges from internal chemistry that weighs cost against benefit, guiding behavior through feeling rather than conscious calculation. Certain fish change sex under hormonal control when social conditions demand it. In some fish species, sex is not fixed for life. Instead, Hormonal changes allow individuals to transition from one sex to another in response to social conditions. If a dominant individual is lost, hormonal pathways can shift in another fish, triggering gradual changes in reproductive organs, behavior, and appearance. This flexibility ensures that reproduction can continue even when group structure changes. Hormones coordinate this transformation carefully, allowing functional transition without disrupting survival. The remarkable aspect is that identity itself becomes adaptive. Through hormonal control, biology prioritizes continuity of the group over permanence of the individual. This phenomenon challenges simple ideas about sex and shows how deeply hormones can shape life history in response to social need. Hormones can affect creativity by altering neural flexibility. Creativity relies on the brain's ability to form new connections and explore unusual combinations of ideas. Hormones influence this flexibility by modulating how easily neural circuits shift and reorganize. Certain hormonal states promote openness, curiosity, and tolerance for ambiguity, which can support creative thinking. Others favor focus and efficiency, narrowing attention toward proven strategies. Creativity often emerges when flexibility and structure are balanced, and hormones help tune that balance. This does not mean creativity is chemically forced. Instead, internal chemistry shapes the mental landscape in which ideas form. The awe-inspiring insight is that imagination is not separate from biology. Hormones help adjust the brain's readiness to explore, allowing creative states to arise when conditions support them. Hormonal rhythms continue even in constant darkness. Even without external cues like sunrise or sunset, the body maintains internal rhythms. Hormones play a central role in generating these cycles, rising and falling in patterns that regulate sleep, metabolism, and alertness. These rhythms persist in constant darkness because they are driven by internal clocks rather than direct environmental signals. Hormones help keep these clocks synchronized across tissues, ensuring coordinated function. When external cues return, hormonal rhythms can adjust, realigning with the outside world. The awe-inspiring aspect is that time becomes an internal property of life. Hormones allow the body to measure and anticipate change, even when the environment offers no guidance. Through endocrine rhythms, life maintains order in the absence of light, guided by chemistry that keeps its own quiet beat. Hormones help determine how the body responds to long-term stress. Short bursts of stress can be useful, but long-term stress presents a very different challenge. Hormones help determine whether the body adapts or begins to wear down. Over extended periods, endocrine systems adjust baseline settings for energy use, immune activity, sleep, and emotional regulation. Certain hormone patterns support endurance by mobilizing fuel and maintaining alertness, while others gradually shift the body toward conservation to prevent exhaustion. These changes affect how stress feels subjectively and how deeply it penetrates physiology. Long-term stress hormones can influence muscle maintenance, fat distribution, immune balance, and even how the brain evaluates threat. Importantly, the body does not respond to chronic stress as a constant emergency. Instead, it enters a new normal, shaped by hormonal feedback. This can be adaptive in harsh environments, but costly if stress never resolves. The awe-inspiring insight is that stress response is not fixed. Hormones continuously recalibrated, shaping whether pressure becomes resilience or erosion over time. Invertebrates rely on hormones to coordinate regeneration after injury. Many invertebrates possess remarkable regenerative abilities, and hormones play a central role in coordinating this process. After injury, hormonal signals help determine which cells will divide, which will migrate, and which will specialize to rebuild missing structures. Regeneration is not simple regrowth. It requires patterning, ensuring that new tissue forms the correct shape and integrates with existing systems. Hormones help manage this by providing positional information and timing cues. They also regulate energy use, ensuring that regeneration does not compromise survival. In some species, regeneration can involve rebuilding complex structures such as limbs or sensory organs, all while the organism remains active. The awe-inspiring aspect is that regeneration is guided rather than chaotic. Hormones help turn injury into an organized construction project, demonstrating that healing can involve blueprint-level coordination rather than simple repair. Hormones shape facial features during development in subtle ways. Facial features emerge through a finely tuned developmental process influenced by hormonal signals. These hormones guide the growth rates of bones, cartilage, and soft tissues, shaping proportions rather than dictating a single outcome. Small differences in timing or sensitivity can lead to noticeable variation in jaw shape, brow structure, and overall symmetry. Hormones also influence how tissues respond to mechanical forces, such as chewing or expression, integrating use with form. This process unfolds gradually, often without any single dramatic change. The result is a face that reflects both genetic potential and hormonal context. The fascinating insight is that identity is sculpted rather than stamped. Hormones help translate developmental signals into subtle physical expression, contributing to the diversity of human and animal faces without rigid templates. The hormone adiponectin helps regulate inflammation and metabolism together. Adiponectin links energy management with immune balance, illustrating how deeply intertwined body systems are. Released by fat tissue, this hormone influences how cells use fuel, encouraging efficient metabolism and sensitivity to energy signals. At the same time, adiponectin has calming effects on inflammatory pathways, helping reduce chronic low-level inflammation but can damage tissues over time. This dual role is especially important because metabolism and inflammation often rise together during stress or excess. Adiponectin helps counterbalance that trend, supporting metabolic health while protecting tissues. Its presence reminds us that fat tissue is not merely storage, but an active endocrine organ. The awe-inspiring insight is that a single hormone can bridge two major systems, coordinating energy use with immune restraint to support long-term stability. Hormones allow organisms to anticipate seasonal change. Seasons bring predictable challenges and opportunities, and hormones help organisms prepare in advance. Changes in daylight, temperature, and food availability influence endocrine rhythms that adjust behavior and physiology before conditions fully shift. Hormones can alter appetite, reproduction, coat thickness, migration readiness, and energy storage. This anticipation reduces risk by allowing gradual adjustment rather than sudden reaction. Even in environments where seasons are subtle, hormonal timing can preserve rhythm and order. The remarkable aspect is that organisms do not simply respond to change, they forecast it. Hormones act as internal calendars, aligning life processes with recurring environmental patterns. Through this system, biology turns predictability into preparedness. Hormonal feedback prevents small imbalances from becoming dangerous. The body constantly experiences minor fluctuations in chemistry, pressure, and energy. Hormonal feedback systems detect these changes and respond early, preventing escalation. When a variable drifts slightly from its ideal range, hormones adjust processes to nudge it back toward balance. This happens continuously and often invisibly. Without such feedback, small deviations could compound into serious disruption. Hormonal feedback loops operate across multiple timescales, from minutes to days, allowing both rapid correction and long-term tuning. The awe-inspiring insight is that stability is not passive. It is actively maintained through constant measurement and response. Hormones serve as the body's quiet stabilizers, correcting course before imbalance becomes crisis. Some hormones act as translators between metabolism and mood. Metabolism and emotion influence each other deeply, and hormones help translate between these domains. Changes in energy availability can alter mood through hormonal signals that reach the brain, shaping motivation, patience, and emotional tone. Likewise, emotional stress can influence metabolic hormones, adjusting appetite and energy use. These interactions ensure that behavior aligns with physiological state. When energy is low, mood may shift toward conservation. When resources are abundant, emotional states may support exploration and engagement. The awe-inspiring insight is that feelings are not separate from physical state. Hormones help integrate body and mind, allowing emotion to reflect metabolic reality rather than existing in isolation. Marine mammals rely on hormonal insulation mechanisms to survive cold oceans. Marine mammals inhabit environments where heat loss is constant and severe. Hormones help them survive by regulating insulation, circulation, and metabolism. They influence the growth and maintenance of thick fat layers that retain heat, while also serving as energy reserves. Hormones also adjust blood flow, reducing heat loss at the surface while protecting vital organs. Metabolic rate can be tuned to generate additional warmth when needed. These adjustments must remain flexible because marine mammals transition between water and air repeatedly. The awe-inspiring aspect is that survival in extreme cold is not achieved through fur alone, but through endocrine coordination that turns the body into a dynamic thermal system. Hormones influence how quickly wounds close and tissues rebuild. Healing speed depends on more than injury severity. Hormones influence how rapidly cells migrate, divide, and form new tissue. They regulate blood flow to wounds, immune activity, and the production of structural proteins. Hormonal state can accelerate repair when resources are available or slow it when conservation is necessary. This flexibility helps prevent reckless rebuilding that could weaken tissue. Healing, therefore, becomes a regulated process rather than a race. The awe-inspiring insight is that recovery is not automatic. Hormones help pace it, ensuring that rebuilding aligns with overall health and stability. Hormonal communication allows life to function as a coordinated whole rather than isolated parts. Life depends on integration. Organs, tissues, and cells must act together despite physical separation. Hormones provide the communication that makes this possible. By circulating through the body, they carry information that aligns activity across systems. Metabolism, immunity, growth, reproduction, and behavior become coordinated rather than conflicting. This chemical conversation allows the body to respond as a unified entity to changing conditions. The awe-inspiring conclusion is that individuality emerges from cooperation. Hormones are the language that turns many parts into one living system, allowing life to remain coherent, adaptive, and whole. Hormones helped multicellular life evolve cooperation between cells. The moment life moved beyond single cells, a new problem emerged. Individual cells needed to give up independence in order to survive as part of something larger. Hormones provided a solution by allowing cells to share information about resources, danger, and collective priorities. Chemical signals made it possible for groups of cells to coordinate growth, repair, and specialization instead of competing blindly. This cooperation allowed tissues to form, organs to emerge, and eventually, complex bodies to exist. Hormones helped cells learn when to divide and when to stop, when to consume resources and when to conserve them for others. Without this chemical diplomacy, multicellular life would collapse into internal conflict. The awe-inspiring truth is that cooperation is not accidental. It is chemically enforced. Hormones turned collections of cells into communities with shared rules, allowing life to scale upward in complexity while remaining stable. The hormone secretin was the first hormone ever discovered. The discovery of secretin marked a turning point in biological understanding. Before it was identified, scientists believed the body communicated primarily through nerves. Secretin revealed a different system entirely, one where organs could signal each other through chemicals carried in the bloodstream. This hormone was shown to be released by the digestive tract and to influence the pancreas from a distance, proving that communication did not require direct wiring. The discovery reshaped medicine and physiology by uncovering the endocrine system as a parallel network of control. It opened the door to identifying countless other hormones that guide growth, metabolism, reproduction, and behavior. The awe-inspiring part is that one quiet experiment revealed a hidden language running through the body. Secretin did not just add a new hormone to science. It revealed an entirely new way of understanding how life coordinates itself internally. Hormonal signaling helps regulate thirst before dehydration occurs. Thirst is not a simple reaction to dryness. Hormones help anticipate water needs before serious dehydration develops. As fluid balance begins to shift, hormonal signals adjust kidney function, blood volume, and the sensation of thirst itself. These signals allow the body to conserve water early and to prompt drinking before damage occurs. Hormones also integrate thirst with activity level, temperature, and salt balance, ensuring that hydration decisions reflect overall physiological state. This anticipatory system is crucial because waiting until dehydration is severe would threaten circulation and cellular function. The awe-inspiring insight is that the body does not wait for crisis. Hormones help predict future need, turning thirst into a preventative signal rather than an emergency alarm. Hormones can subtly influence posture and movement patterns. Movement is shaped not only by muscles and bones, but by internal chemistry. Hormones influence muscle tone, joint flexibility, and energy availability, all of which affect posture and motion. Changes in hormonal state can alter how upright or relaxed the body feels, how fluid movements become, and how long activity can be sustained without fatigue. These influences often operate below awareness, quietly shaping body language and habitual movement. Over time, repeated hormonal patterns can contribute to characteristic ways of standing, walking, or resting. The awe-inspiring idea is that the body's physical expression reflects internal chemistry. Hormones help shape how the body occupies space, turning movement into a biological reflection of internal state rather than a purely mechanical act. Many animals rely on hormone-driven seasonal fasting strategies. In environments where food availability changes dramatically, fasting can be a survival strategy rather than a failure. Hormones help orchestrate these periods by adjusting metabolism, suppressing appetite, and protecting vital tissues. Seasonal fasting allows animals to endure scarcity without exhausting energy reserves. Hormonal signals also coordinate the transition into and out of fasting states, ensuring that feeding resumes safely when conditions improve. This process protects organs, preserves muscle, and maintains essential functions even during extended periods without food. The awe-inspiring aspect is that fasting is not passive endurance. It is an active, hormonally guided strategy that allows life to pause certain processes while safeguarding others. Hormones help balance curiosity with survival instincts. Exploration offers opportunity, but it also carries risk. Hormones help manage this balance by influencing how strongly novelty attracts attention versus how strongly danger triggers caution. Certain hormonal states promote investigation and learning, making new environments feel inviting. Others heighten vigilance, making the same novelty feel threatening. These shifts depend on internal conditions such as energy reserves, stress history, and safety. Hormones do not eliminate choice. They adjust emotional weighting, shaping how options feel. The awe-inspiring insight is that curiosity is chemically tuned. Hormones help ensure that exploration occurs when it is safe and worthwhile, and that caution rises when survival depends on restraint. Some hormones function differently depending on past exposure. Hormonal effects are not always fixed. Cells can change how they respond based on previous exposure, altering sensitivity over time. Repeated signals may lead to reduced responsiveness, while absence can increase sensitivity. This allows the body to adapt to persistent conditions without overreacting. Past exposure becomes a form of chemical memory, shaping how future signals are interpreted. This adaptability is essential for stability, preventing constant activation in unchanged environments. The awe-inspiring aspect is that hormones do not act in isolation. They carry history with them. The body remembers through chemistry, allowing present responses to reflect past experience. Hormonal cascades can amplify tiny signals into whole body responses. A small trigger can lead to a massive outcome when hormones act in cascades. One signal activates another, which activates another, spreading influence across tissues and systems. This amplification allows subtle changes to produce coordinated responses. A slight environmental cue can adjust metabolism, behavior, and physiology simultaneously. Cascades also allow fine control because each step can be regulated or dampened. The awe-inspiring insight is that scale in biology is flexible. Hormones allow small causes to produce large, organized effects, turning whispers into symphonies of coordinated change. Hormones quietly orchestrate transitions between life stages. Life unfolds in chapters, and hormones help guide the transitions between them. From early development to maturity to later life, hormonal patterns shift priorities and capabilities. These changes influence growth, reproduction, energy use, and repair. Transitions are gradual, allowing adaptation rather than disruption. Hormones help ensure that each stage builds on the last, preparing the body for new roles and challenges. The awe-inspiring truth is that aging and development are not random drift. They are guided processes, orchestrated by chemistry that helps life change form while preserving continuity. Hormones allow living systems to remain stable while constantly changing. Life is defined by change, yet it must maintain order to survive. Hormones make this possible by providing flexible regulation rather than rigid control. They adjust processes in response to internal and external conditions, allowing systems to shift without collapsing. Stability emerges not from saneness, but from continuous adjustment. Hormones enable this by linking sensing, response, and correction into ongoing loops. The awe-inspiring conclusion is that balance is active, not static. Hormones allow living systems to adapt endlessly while remaining whole, coherent, and alive. As our journey through the quiet world of hormones comes to a close, you can let the ideas soften and drift. These unseen messengers are still moving within you now, guiding breath, balance, memory, and rest without asking for attention. They are part of the gentle intelligence that keeps life steady while everything else changes, a reminder that even complexity can work in calm and patient ways. You do not need to hold on to every thought from tonight. Let curiosity fade into comfort. Let understanding settle beneath the surface, like sediment in still water. Science does not always need effort. Sometimes it is enough to simply be aware that there is order, care, and quiet communication happening within you at every moment. If you enjoy these slow explorations of the natural world, you are always welcome to like, subscribe, or leave a thought below. It helps others discover this calm space too, one resting mind at a time. But for now, there is nothing else to do. Your body already knows how to rest. Your breathing already knows its rhythm. Allow the night to take over from here. Let the details blur, let the explanations dissolve, and trust the quiet systems that keep watch while you sleep. Good night.